Hey, how's it going? Living in Boulder Vlog, March 17th, 2025, 11 p.m. on Tuesday. Yeah, I didn't get up so long ago. I've been working just a little bit on converting stuff. So since the last time I did a video, I think I downloaded even more photos, more books off of LibriVox. I actually went to Wikipedia and I clicked on lists of philosophers from history, and they have it divided into different epochs. And I clicked on all of them, and they have a lot of them. I'm surprised with how many philosophers they have on the list of Wikipedia. That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to read all of what they say on the internet or LibriVox, because most of those philosophers, I would say, are on that list because they're referenced by another philosopher whose book survives, but their books don't survive anymore, even if they're just a few hundred years ago. So especially with the classic literature. Um, but I just scrolled down those philosophers until I saw somebody who I recognized, and I'd click and see if they were on LibriVox, and also the ones that I already had, like English philosophers, German philosophers. I made sure that I clicked on LibriVox and made sure that I didn't have all of them, because the last time I did the update was a couple of years ago, and they could have done some updates since then. And so yeah, I ended up downloading a lot new books, and I don't think I did the sweep through from America yet, so I'll do that next. But yeah, I did England and like Germany, and I have so then there was another batch of books, and then I had to convert them to MP4 after from MP3, and that's what I'm doing. I think I just finished converting all the ones from MP3, and so now I drag them into their area, but there's not that many left. There's maybe like um, I don't know, 50, I don't know, like 80, 100 of them. Um, so drag those suckers in and then number them. Yeah. So who knows? I don't even care how long anymore because this whole coronavirus shut everything down. Shit's hitting the fan. I mean, there's less than 100 deaths in America, but everybody's preparing, which is good. But I mean, it's like fuck it. Like I wouldn't even be able to concentrate on exercising anymore anyway, because now we're in a state of emergency. I already knew that society was hanging by a thread, but and I had some extra money, but I remember like I can't remember when it was. It wasn't so long after New Year's because my birthday is on December 27th, and I did some like housework, and I got my back got sore, and just one night I was just like, oh, I know what I have to do. Now's the time to quit the website and become an athlete, and so I blew 13,000 bucks on this bike, which I don't. I have to pay $550 a month for like the next year, and then the 30% interest kicks in. I don't regret. I don't. And then I bought a $2,500 swim machine. I don't regret any of that because of the conviction. I remember the conviction that I had the night before. I was like, that's what I do. So that's like what God wanted. But but anyway, I don't have the concentration or the desire, because my whole life as a athlete was hanging by a thread anyway, because my website is like just about to pop. I mean, 3 weeks until I'm done with Google Earthing Rome, which is a huge project, huge accomplishment. I mean, I'm not even talking about huge project as in a lot of hours to complete. I mean, huge project as in a huge impact on the world. A wonderful, huge, amazing thing to have available to the world. And I'm only 3 weeks away. After that, I can make YouTube videos, tours of it. I could do Strava, I mean, Zwift style tours, ground level around Rome, as well as flying for people to freaking Zwift my shit instead of Zwift. The only difference is you don't have other people around and it's at a fixed speed. But and then 1 week away, it seems like, from finishing my free audio history books list on my website, and then aligned with my cell phone, my computer, and my cell phone. So let me tell you what I'm thinking about doing with that. I want to fill up my phone. I had 215 gigabytes free when I started. Now I have like 46. So I have to decide what I'm going to cut out and what I'm going to include because I don't have enough space. But maybe the next generation. I have the iPhone 10, and they already have the iPhone 11 out. Maybe they'll have another one, the 12 or the 13, which will have enough to fit everything that I have here. So what I want to do is then cloud it. Maybe I could just pay some money, extra money to cloud it. And then I want to call Apple and see if they can figure out a way to cloud share so that I can like have a friend or maybe Apple, if they were smart enough, Apple could just have this feature, cloud feature, where they take my cloud because I created it. I have it already. I'm the only one in the world who has it ready, so they just use mine because I'm a giver. And and they just have it available for anybody to cloud download it. And so people be like, okay, here's your new Apple 12 phone or whatever, Apple 10. Hey, you want to do the feature where you do the Kyle Pounds cloud? Yeah, sure. Clickety click. Boom. You next thing you know, you have it on your phone just like on mine. But if they're not smart enough to do like that, maybe there's a feature where I could have friends, like a trust thing, like maybe you could do where you could do a double doozy where we could share, and maybe they could fuck me if they want, but they won't because they're my friend. And they just download it they get a joint account or whatever, download it off my site onto their phone, and then they're off on their merry way until my next friend comes along, and we can share that way. But I think having all of the voices read by a human being in the past from all the different epochs on your phone ready to go is a magical thing. It's different than like some like cloud-based bullshit. I mean, if we have all this space on our phone, we might as well use it. Besides, what happens if the central thing, what happens if the Chinese or the Russians like nuclear bomb the Google mainframe, then we'll frickin' lose everything that LibriVox used, spent years and years and years to collect. It won't be a big deal if everybody has everything on their phone already. Then you just re-upload it. There's lots of movies and old TV shows and old episodes of like network news that are lost forever because they never recorded it and archived it properly. And what about the ancient Roman Empire? We only have one novel left over from the ancient Roman Empire in completion. Publius and the Golden Ass. We barely even know what Rome looked like. We lost 90% of the ancient philosophers, and a lot of them would burn books and stuff. We lose information, and then the ancestors are like, "Oh, wouldn't that be nice if we had the information?" So what we need to do is preemptively save from losing information, and a good way to do it is by putting all of your audiobooks on your cell phone itself, because then boom, it's like a virus. It's everywhere. How are you gonna snuff it out? So anyway. So that's what I'm doing now. In a week, I'll be done, and then I'll call Apple and I'll be like, "Come on, motherfuckers!" Or I'll see if I can get like friends of mine. Somebody back when I was living in Seattle at the end of 2011 actually sent me they sent it to general post office, and I think a separate person sent me inhalers, 4 inhalers. It was crazy. Nobody else ever sent me anything, and then all of a sudden, I'm doing YouTube videos, and somebody's like, "Hey, I sent you an external. You want an external? I sent you an external. Let's go pick it up over at the Seattle. It's where Google is, just a couple blocks from Microsoft, Redwood. I go in there to pick up my external, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, somebody else sent you a bunch of inhalers. A separate person. It was crazy." Anyway, which I needed, by the way. I desperately needed them because they had taken them off the shelf. It was before I had Obamacare. I was just about to die of asthma. Boom, I had those things, saved my life. And now I'm on Advair, but I guess you can't get Advair anymore. I have 14 hits on one of them and then 45 on the other one. That's why I quit smoking weed. I'm high right now, but I ran out just this morning. I woke up and had just a little bit. It was from my roommate, and when my roommate tries to give me more, I'm not going to take any more. He bought me actually a big beer and a smaller beer yesterday, and then gave me another beer this morning, so I'm a little bit buzzed on one beer right now, but anyway, I I just did a comment on like CBS or NBC website, and then I went back like 5 seconds later to edit it, and they had already deleted my comment. So fuck you very much. You need to be Americans, motherfucker. If somebody leaves a comment, they have to be able to leave the comment, dick lickers. This is America, First Amendment. Come on, don't be an idiot. What I said was we could use the coronavirus. What we need to think about not just mitigating and stopping the deaths of coronavirus, but we also need to plan for the future and try to look at the glasses half full and the bright side of the situation. Maybe the coronavirus, you can use it as a good thing. The Black Death killed a bunch of people, and then they used that to reorganize society to have less slavery and more rights for people. That was the end of like serfdom, was the Black Death, because there were no more serfs. Because the serfs became the lords. So that's what we need to do now. Maybe we could use it for our advantage. It kills a million people, but it's all the old people who don't do anything, who just it drains on our economy. So 6 months later, after all the a million of the old people and the sick people are dead, there's that much less drain on the economy. It's actually good for the economy. But the thing is, how do you make it good in the long run? Because everybody's going to have their heart break from everybody's grandma and mom dying and everything. My mom's 78, and she actually told me last night, she's like, hey, I'm ready to die. It's fine. If I die, I'm fine. She already said her goodbyes. So, I mean, it's like if we use this to our advantage, everybody's at home, then we can realize that you don't have to do school, and then we stay at school, never open the schools up over again, and then that's so many extra taxpayer dollars saved that we can then recirculate instead of spending on these old people because now they're all dead. No more schools because the kids realize that school's bullshit and we don't have to go to school and maybe they're afraid to go to school. Do you have any idea how much free extra money that is? That is so much extra money. You could buy people a bicycle. You could buy everybody a bicycle. And then you could have everybody do bike school, and then people could hang, instead of having jobs, they just do bike school with their kids, and then they're just riding bikes with their kids. And then 10 years later, everybody knows everything because they have all the books on their phones. Everybody has everything in memory memorized, in history memorized. You could drop a random decade, the 260s, and your average 23-year-old's going to be able to recite everything that happened there. And then you drop a year, and 50 years, 2099. Everybody's going to know exactly what's happening in 2099. They're not going to have an idea about it and everything. If you shut down all the schools, you could create omniscience for all of society because people will have time to be listening to audiobooks while they ride their bikes outside. And everybody will be completely fit too. They'll all be like the same fitness as the Tour de France champion from 1950, only they'll be just as smart, 10 times smarter than Albert Einstein could have ever dreamed of being. And everybody has a bicycle. Okay, so you could use this whole coronavirus to our advantage if we leverage it right. So that's all I was saying. But then I went back to edit it because I was going to be. And by the way, my 78-year-old mom teaches full time still. Because I was saying these old people are useless. Now my mom, she works all the time. She works full time, takes care of me, takes care of everybody. But then some asshole deleted it because they're not American. They're trying to become like Russia. They're like, oh, that's not the time to get so real. We're not ready to dress elephants in rooms yet. I want to do ostrich. Oh, poor grandma. Dude, grandma's lived her life. Let grandma pass on to the spirit world. We need to start the new world, the new society with the new economy before everybody on the entire planet dies, and including all the animals who have nothing to blame. So that's all I was saying, man. It's crazy, man. The smarter you are, the more prosecuted and persecuted and censored you become. Anyway, so I'm going to I'm hopefully today I can finish dragging all these things into all their books and then begin the process of sizing them because that's a lot less stressful. Right now I'm still doing hardcore thinking. I have to figure out like, okay, where am I going to go? Am I going to start a new folder? How am I going to organize it? After that's done, yeah. Number them and then, but who cares anymore, dude? We're coronavirus. We're in lockdown, which is awesome for me because I mean, like when I was dead broke, I was working like washing windows every once in a while, once or twice a week, and mowing lawns once a week, couple weeks and stuff. My mom was paying me $15 an hour to help her with things. I had like no money. This is just up until like the last a year and a half ago, and I was living off of just canned vegetables all the time, and so I'm back there now. Like I'm back there financially. There, can't go out anymore. No, but I fucking love it because that means that I get to focus on. It's like joining the army. Like now I get to focus on getting done with this because it's not just you know, it's like 3 weeks for Google Earthing Rome, 1 week for free auto history books, bike racer levels, 3 weeks. You know, if by the end of coronavirus, by the time people can step outside after all the useless old people are dead, um, like my website might be done. Oh, and then I have to do writing, but I might have done writing by then too, which isn't really that much time. The only reason I haven't don't have any writing on my website is because all the other things that I do are so insanely time consuming. Like no sane normal person would do even a single one of the many things that I do. I Google Earth Boulder. I'm Google Earthing Rome on Boulder. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I could do a list of things, and each one of those is insanely time consuming. Nobody would ever do. Yet I have like 2 dozen of them. Okay, so that's the only reason I haven't gotten around to writing on my website yet. So okay, imagine when, and that's like a tiny little project that'll take a fraction of the time it took me to do any of the other ones. So once I explain myself on my website, I'm ready to go, man. I can advertise. I can get my views up. I can finally make my first penny off my website with AdSense once I get 200,000 hits of views a month because I got demonetized by Google. Boom, there you go. And then of course that's the answer to society, and then everybody else follows, and then we're streamlined, which is the most important thing. And you know, when you're talking about streamlining society, you don't even have to include rich people having to share their money. Like they would go along with you anyway because taking closing all public schools, like what rich person, how would that affect a rich person's bank account? It doesn't. It's just streamlining society, and then you bring it after that into, you know, rich people sharing their money, so that instead of paying people to serve them hand over fist, you just give them money to be their own independent person, to go ride and be brilliant, more brilliant than probably a lot of the rich people. Anyway, yeah, I think it's an exciting time. I'm gonna go full force, hunker down, and go. And then just kind of turn my triathlon bike into a museum piece. I don't feel bad about, you know, like what happens if next year there's all these they have to sell off because somebody said something about discounts and triathlon gear. Maybe they have to sell off and everything. My bike next year is half the price, and so I've lost $6,000 on it. I don't care because I'm a culturalist of the triathlon. I paid into the culture. It's a culture that I love, even though I've never done triathlon. I actually did a couple, but I never did one proper. Um, um, yeah, I think we're gonna get through this and keep moving forward, and we're gonna pick up where we left off, and we're gonna be in a much better situation. Old people who are just about to die of coronavirus, those people have the voices of the past, and the past has a lot of racism and sickness and death and bad preconceived notions and just ignorance. You get rid of those people, that the voice that they used to have can get replaced by younger, fresher, more active, productive members of society. So I'm kind of excited what's going to happen. I think in a year things are going to be really good. For society, I mean, obviously everybody's going to lose their loved ones. My mom's probably going to die. I might die. If I get coronavirus, I will die. So I'm staying in my room. I have really bad asthma. If I get just a little bit sick, I can barely breathe. If I go to a certain part of America, I'll get asthma and I'll barely be able to breathe. So yeah, I'm staying here in my room. I'm not even going outside. I went to the supermarket this morning at like 5 in the morning, and there were like a few people there, but I didn't. There were so few, I didn't have to get it closer to like 10 feet from anybody ever. And yeah, we just keep it like that, and we won't get sick. But yeah, I bought echinacea tablets and garlic tablets. I'm not going to smoke any more weed. I'm not going to exercise, but I'm not going to do any drugs or alcohol anymore. And so I think immune system will be strong enough to survive it. You know, even if I catch, yeah, even if I to not get it, and even if I catch it, I might survive it. If I haven't smoked weed in the last month. So, anyways, enough talking. By tomorrow, hopefully, I will have done dragging all, you know, getting everything downloaded and organized into their proper files, and I'll be in the process of numbering everything. And hopefully, in 1 week, I'll be done with the whole thing, or 1 or 2 weeks of all my free art history books, and then I can write the explanation of it. Oh, okay, almost 20 minutes. Bye bye.